Once upon a time, two men decided if they were making the cut. Then they made the cut. And now JT and Aaron are talking everything from wrestling to pop culture and beyond, because it's no holds barred.
Will you back down, turn and run, or stand up with the best? When your back's to the wall, what will your answer be? Will you run for the door? Will you run out on me like it's hard? It's no.
Oh, give me an all hell yeah! If you want to get no holds barred here on the greatest WWE title change of all time, and whatever.
So I saw the movie Sound of Freedom the other night, right? Don't want to talk about the movie. People are upset about it for whatever reason. What I was not expecting was the guy's boss, the agent's boss in the movie, is fucking Kurt Fuller.
No way.
It's fucking Brell, but he looks nothing like him. He's super old
Right.
now.
Yeah,
he's
yeah,
got
he's
like
old.
no hair. He looks small. And the whole movie, when he kept popping up, I'm like, is that like I couldn't peg him at first, but it was him. It was fucking him.
There you go. Brell,
So if
hanging
you
on.
got a problem with Brell, know now that he is investigating child sex trafficking. So
Okay.
not everybody's all bad to their core.
No. What's good to the core is no holds barred here every Saturday on the North South Connection, both video and audio. Audio you can find on any podcast application by searching North South Connection, or to subscribe right here to this very YouTube channel. And you can ring the bell, like, subscribe, as they say, and be sure to check out all the content we have. We're here every single week on No Holds Barred. Every other week, twice a month, is the math there. We're going through every WWE World Title change ever in chronological order, and we're ranking them. We'll talk about that in a second. Every other week on the show, we're doing different stuff, so be sure to check it out. Be surprised.
But understand,
And-
with the nonsense, none of the holds are barred.
No.
Not one of them. So
With every bit of happiness comes a grain of salt. So remember that.
exactly.
And we also do What Ifs 3 Wednesdays a month on video only, exclusive. So subscribe.
What if Brell had been running the WWF when Owen Hart fell?
He would have kept going.
He would have stopped the show.
No, he would not have. No chance.
He would have told Martha Hart to take a piss.
Yeah,
Like-
he would have. We're keeping it going. We need that public access. Oh, that's Wayne's World. Anyway, all right. So let's roll on. And tonight we're talking Steve Austin versus The Undertaker, June 28th, 1999, from Monday Night Raw. It's the night after, or Raw's War, the night after King of the Ring, where Austin lost to the McMahons, lost control of the company back to the McMahons due to the mysterious briefcase razor. And Undertaker retained his world title against The Rock.
Yeah, in the match where The Rock hit him with the rock bottom 10 seconds into the match.
Yes. All right, so we are loaded up on the Peacock. I am at 117.20. It's a wide shot of the Titantron. We're right around the same, I think, on International Network.
116.55 if you're from the Netherlands.
There you go. And really
Anne
quick,
Frank?
Aaron,
You think
What are
Anne
the-
Frank watched this show?
what are the categories?
We're ranking this in 5 categories, each a score out of 10, which gives us a round score of 100. The categories are match quality, significance, the moment, build, and aftermath.
Okay. All right, let's hit play in 3, 2, 1, go. So out comes Taker. Last episode we really kind of gushed again about the theme music.
Which is
The
incredible.
awesome corporate ministry mashup. So we're like, I mean, this. I'm so torn on this Taker run because, like, I love the character.
So do I.
But the
Why
in-ring
is he wearing any sort of gear here, though?
I feel like at this point he's done with it all. Like, I think he's hurt. He's tired. Like, I feel like there's a stretch here where he wears none of it. He's just like, I'm fucking done. And then you see that with when the Big Show team starts, where
Yeah.
he's like wearing the sweatpants and the fanny pack. Like, he felt like he was just done with all the gothic mythical stuff.
Like when he told Jericho off.
Yeah, he's just like, I'm just done. And when he comes back, he's in a different character. So it's like, I think he was just had kind of had it. But I really like this 8 months of this character. I really like the team with him and Big Show, with him treating Show like garbage and Show, I'm gonna make you walk through the desert with your motorcycle, like all that stuff. As evil teacher Taker. And we're kind of nearing the end of that, though, because that ends at Fully Loaded. We'll talk about that in a minute.
right.
Producer Tim is with us. He's the one doing the pop-up videos, asking us thoughts on this version of the championship belt. So if you're watching along or want to share your thoughts in the comments, please do.
It's the Attitude Era belt.
Yeah, it's the Globe, right? I always like this one a lot. I mean, I'm a Winged Eagle truther, so that's my goat, but I liked this one too.
Why is it called the Winged Eagle? Don't all eagles have wings?
Just that one.
I don't mind this belt, though. I think I probably like this belt more than any of the current belts.
Oh, yeah.
Like,
do you like this better than the Undisputed title? That like Brock?
Yes.
Yeah.
I never liked the Undisputed title.
No.
Is
this the belt until then? Is this the belt till they merge it?
Yeah.
Like, is this the one that Angle and Austin fight over? Right? It's
yeah,
one, right?
Jericho wins them.
Yeah.
I love how Austin accepted this belt the night after WrestleMania 14 and then immediately replaced it with his own.
Yes.
No thanks, pal.
So Austin has no gear on either, which makes me think they already have that. Him and Taker both not having gear.
Well, maybe they had some
or
night.
they probably had some kind of fight or brawl earlier that like
right.
So now out here, like they've already done an entrance and their stuff.
It's like the Bret Hart Sid match that they keep trying to start.
Yeah, yeah. Right? By the point in time they come out, it's like whatever.
Yeah. Already, this has way more energy than the last one we watched.
Well, someone hadn't just died.
Right. But again, like this, we talked about it 2 weeks ago, right? Where like this is kind of like what they should have done at the last one was keep that energy high.
And this show, it's 12 minutes, right? So I mean they could have done this exact match.
Yeah.
Yeah, the crowd's hot.
Yeah. And it's interesting. At the time, I remember being surprised because I'm like, they're not gonna run the same finish that they did last year, the night after King of the Ring.
Right, yeah.
Like,
well, I think it was clear at this point, like Taker is definitely on fumes a bit. And it was obvious.
That kick out he just did was like, it's 2 minutes into the match, and if you're watching on YouTube, he does this, like,
right.
Like
he's really interesting. And I think that's what leads to the Big Show team is to help him rest and let Show like work the matches while he stands at the apron a bit. And then it just be too much. Yeah.
Yeah, and hand off that like monster dominating character to Show.
Yeah. So I think that was some of it, is that he's so beat up and just hurting. Because I don't think he even wrestles a lot when he comes back in January until like Mania. So I think he's really only active from like Mania till SummerSlam. But they were also clearly getting Triple H ready. Like I think by this point it was obvious that's where they were headed with Triple H. So I don't think this is that surprising that Austin is going to get the belt back here to set up what you would assume would be him versus Hunter at SummerSlam.
You would assume that. Would you have assumed Steve Austin against China at any point? Because
do you feel like the build to that show led to Vince not probably caring as much when Russo left? like you think a little bit was like, okay, this is like getting a little out of control now. Like Russo was like going a little too trigger. I know Vince had the final say and all that, but it almost felt like because Russo leaves right after that, so it makes me feel like the timing was probably right. It was like if he was, because that gets like it was way unnecessary and out of control.
Well, I mean, it kind of goes back to something. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah,
you'd still think that like you would be a little bit more forgiving to someone who helped you make so much fucking money, but.
Well, I'm sure he wanted to keep him. Like, I don't think he wanted him to leave.
No, he didn't. Like, I mean, like when you hear the stories of that, it's Vince Russo going to him and being like, "Hey, I'm now writing 2 shows instead of 1. Can you pay me?"
Yeah.
Like, and him saying no. So it's like,
I think maybe he kind of was done with him a little bit. Like maybe he was just done with his bullshit. Like maybe figured, look, we can do without him. You know, some of these ideas are crazy.
You ruined WrestleMania switching Road Dogg and Billy Gunn around.
It's all the last minute stuff. It's like, yeah, that bill, we'll talk about it in 2 weeks when we cover SummerSlam. And the reasons why, like, you know, potentially why they wanted it to be Foley because of the Jesse thing and all that. But
I feel like in retrospect, they probably could have just run this match at SummerSlam. It would have solved all that problem.
No, they could have done the fully loaded one.
Yeah, that too.
The end of an era. Taker challenges Austin one last time at SummerSlam rematch from the year before. Jesse's out there to make sure Vince doesn't interfere because he's gone. Yeah, they could have done that.
First blood match.
Yeah, make it first blood. You still have Jesse as the ref.
Yeah, in theory, we didn't need that Mankind win there.
And then Triple H beats Austin the next night.
Yeah, bullshit with some bullshit. Yeah, you could see Taker's just even struggling to get in and out of the ring.
Yeah. Yeah, he's a mess. I mean, I know, like I said, you know, he messed his leg up pretty good at Hell in a Cell. I think when he jumped out of the cell.
Right.
And I don't think he ever really healed it from there.
The other thing too is I wonder at this point, how often is Undertaker working 2 matches in a row?
Right.
Because like, or on consecutive nights. Because on this night, he just did what, like a 15-minute match with The Rock?
Yep. So he's probably hurting for sure.
We
I don't
Rock
know
is
what
very
I don't
liberal.
remember how much like active he was on SmackDown during this time period though. Like they were taping that the next night. So like,
Yeah.
was he wrestling a lot on there? I don't know.
I can't imagine he was. I'm sure they gave him the night off. Like maybe they gave him, he did a promo or something, but.
Yeah, I mean, he takes quite a while off. I mean, he wrestles his last show is the week before Unforgiven in September.
Right.
And because he just says, "I'm done, I quit," or whatever, and walks out on TV. Then they put Bulldog in a spot. And he's gone until May, so that's a decent stretch.
Yeah.
Fucking Paul Bear with that goddamn shoe.
How did Austin get this title shot?
I don't remember. These Raws are a real blind spot for me.
Well, are they ones you just didn't have on tape?
I didn't. I had stopped taping in early '98 because it was before I went to college, so I wasn't taping while I was in college. But I would have been home for the summer during this time period. I was working at Stop and Shop, so like I think a lot of Mondays I was working nights, so I think I'd record them and watch them back. But I don't know, for some reason a lot of it just, I know I was watching them, it just doesn't stick with me for whatever reason.
Yeah, like because like he lost all his power, right? The night before.
Yeah, maybe Linda gives it to him or something. Maybe it was one of those like Linda signed the contract, or he might have signed the contract himself before he lost. It might have been something like that, where he like gave himself a title shot before he got screwed. Like he made the match before he lost.
Right.
And I have to rewatch. I do want to rewatch these. Like it'll be forever on Warzone by the time we get there. But like I do want to watch these. Like I've started a couple times as like my late night watching, and I just got derailed. But
right.
Because I definitely, yeah, I think what you mentioned is a big piece of it. Like I have every Raw from April '96 to April '98 on tape, and it wasn't just taping them; it was all the hours I spent rewatching them.
Yeah,
that burns them into your mind, like because you just didn't have a lot of other stuff, right? So,
right.
When I was bored and throwing them on, like I just rewatched those Raw tapes, those '97s. I've seen a million times. Producer Tim says higher power Raw. Austin came out and said he would have a world title match whenever he wanted. So yeah, he pretty much gave himself the contract.
Right.
When he was owner. That higher power episode is such a mess because Vince reveals himself, and then it immediately gets shoved to the side because Austin reveals that he's the owner with Linda.
Yeah.
Like on the same show.
None of it makes any sense too. Like, why is Vince joining this group? Like,
right.
Jake. That would have made a lot more sense.
This is a little bit slower than I thought in the middle here. I thought it was like really a brawl all the way through.
Yeah. I think Undertaker might just be too.
Yeah. And I think you're right. Yeah, I'll be honest, it's not as fast paced as I remembered it being. I thought I remembered it being more chaotic and wild.
And fun.
We're not going to watch the first blood match on this project, but I'm curious to rewatch that.
Right. I found the Kane one had more energy.
On Raw, yeah. I mean, again, I think Taker's injury is really just hurting this. He can't go.
But Kane is Kane.
Yeah, but 98 Kane's all right. Like he's moving around. You know. I mean, I low key think like Austin's still super over here, but like 98, summer 98 Austin is like a next level entity. The stories like fresher and newer.
He's not as his hottest here.
Yeah, I mean, I think he still is over, but yes, like the meteor is out there versus a 98, summer 98, it's on the rise, it's burning hot. That's like the kickoff to the highway to hell. So like that whole stretch, he's just insanely over.
What movie do you think you'd like to watch projected onto Paul Bearer's back?
Armageddon.
Hmm.
I wouldn't miss a thing.
No. I was thinking Shawshank since I've never seen it, but
You know what? Me neither.
fuck, I'm so that's the one I always take heat for. Is no, I've never seen Shawshank Redemption, but
I'm a low key like not seen a lot of famous movies, and I don't talk about it because I don't want to be yelled at.
but you have a gore thing too, right? And that probably doesn't help.
Yeah, I've gotten a little better. I've gotten a little bit better, but like horror, I still won't do.
You know what it is with horror? I just don't like them.
Hmm.
Like I just don't find them entertaining for whatever reason.
Stupid.
Which might be why, like, as much as I like this Undertaker character, I've never been a giant fan of like horror stuff in wrestling.
The cult.
Well, I like the idea. I think this is one of the few times where they do the cult somewhat right. Like with them actually bringing people in and letting them join the corporate ministry.
Yeah. I would say this is the cult. Like this is what this is what they showed though with the Wyatts, right? Like he plays mind games. He brings in this army. They're brainwashed because Taker does brainwash these guys. They say it like Midian. They cut him open, and then he's like his eyes are all weird. Viscera, like his eyes
they
are like
kidnap him.
Yeah, they make it like they've been indoctrinated. The acolytes are followers to the death of him, right? Like they do. Even the Brood for their short time in there, like they do play it up like he's mind controlling them.
Could we agree that Viscera is probably the worst possible kidnap victim? He's big. You got to feed him. You got to move him. Like it's a lot. Like I feel like Terry Reynolds. That would have been a fine kidnap victim. I mean, no one would have cared. She was gone, but
all right, I'm ready for this to wrap up.
Me too. Yeah, that was the big whiff with the Wyatts is that they never accomplished anything.
Yeah.
Like, okay, they beat Kane. Now what? Oh, Kane's back to kill them.
That was the miss. They should have brainwashed Kane to join them during that time period.
Yeah, or everybody they beat. Like I would have been happy if the whole year was just them recruiting everyone on the roster as part of the Wyatt family, except for the one or two people that have to beat them and break the hypnosis.
Right. But I think even just doing Kane and Brian fights to like break the hold for Kane, like it could have been good. That's it. Stunner. Nope. Never mind. Paul Bearer yanks the ref out.
Yeah.
So if you're watching this live, you're probably thinking like, okay, there's a screw job.
Yeah, because especially with the year before.
Paul Bearer getting knocked over never not makes me laugh.
Because he can't fall. His body doesn't work.
Flops back to the ground.
Yeah. Also, the crowd reaction on that first stunner was pretty subdued.
Yeah. It was a good reaction for the Paul pulling out the ref, though.
Yeah.
Here we go. This is it now, right? Second
stunner. That was a mess.
Yeah, that's it.
But even then, on that second one,
it's a good pop for the win, though.
Yeah, but it's nowhere near the Kane one.
No, but again, it's different.
Yeah.
Austin, I mean, yeah. You could argue that the injury happens at a fine time for him. Like, I think, like, that break, I mean, a year's a lot, but, all right. Let's get to our categories here. Match quality.
I'm going back to, I'm going to actually give it the same match score I gave the last match, which is 5.
Yeah, it's shorter. I think Over the Edge had some more fun brawling.
Yeah.
This had some decent brawling, but also had the same. It was like a mini version of that.
Yeah. To me, it's like it's a 2.5.
Yeah. Austin's bleeding for no reason. Oh, well, actually, I guess it sets up First Blood, right?
The next match, yeah.
Yeah. All right, significance. I mean, I'm going to go 2. Like, I don't, it doesn't really mean much in the landscape. Like, he doesn't even put it over Triple H. Like, Foley could be Taker and been fine. Like, it's not like Austin transitions the belt to the next big heel off of this. So they could have done without this title change.
Do you think if he transitions it to Triple H directly, it's higher? I think it might be a bit.
Yes. Oh, easily. Because now you're setting up the next big heel. As is, it's like, okay, he loses it in a weird 3-way to Foley, and then Foley transitions.
Yeah, and it's just another Austin title run in a series of like not super long title runs.
Yeah. Moment, I'll go 4.
So I'm at 3. Moment 4. Like I thought it was a good pop, not as good as the Kane one. I'd like to compare it to the Kane one actually. Where's that Kane one?
We went 7.
Yeah,
for
the moment I have
right?
a 7 for the Kane one.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think 4, about half of that. That makes sense to me.
I'm gonna say too. I think Vince not being out there is a big part of it. Like with Kane, I think Vince was probably out there. Like it was more chaos. This actually wasn't as chaotic as I remembered it being.
Yeah, I agree. So a nice 4 there.
Build.
I'm also at a 4. Like, I don't like the idea of. Oh, by the way, I wrote in my contract I get a title shot.
I'm actually gonna go lower because we had the higher power, I guess, which led to Austin the owner, which led to this, which was good stuff. And so, what did I give the Aftermath last time?
5.
4. No, Aftermath. So I'm gonna go 4 here. Then I'm gonna say the Aftermath tracks to the build here.
I gave the Aftermath 3, so I guess I should do the same. That's actually good.
I think it tracked. No, you gave it a 5.
No,
I'm sorry, you gave it a 3. You're right. Yeah. I think we should track to that. I mean, to me, for this one, it's like a direct path.
Yeah.
All right, Aftermath here.
I really like the First Blood.
Well, my initial vibe was to go low. But then I remembered one thing. This leads to the end of Austin McMahon. I mean, it leads to the end of the era match, the First Blood. I know, but in the moment, right, in that storyline, it's really the official end of the first piece of that story. Like, they have later stuff, but this is it for a while with Austin McMahon because Austin gets hurt when McMahon comes back, and that's it.
Right.
So I'm going to go 7 because I actually debated 10. I'm not going to lie, because like it's Austin McMahon and it's the end of the story directly from this match. But I think all the build up to SummerSlam sucks so much that I think it offsets a bit. But I do think this leading to First Blood and the end of an era like means enough that Austin McMahon means enough that it deserves like some love on that.
Yeah, I think I'm probably on board if it was the actual end.
But it is for that story. They're done.
I just don't find it. I don't find it's that good of an ending to this story.
No, but it's the end of the story.
Yeah, but if it's not a good ending, for me, the story should have ended at WrestleMania 15, right? With his foot on the chest, drinking beer with Vince under him.
Yeah.
And this is like a lesser version of it. So I get what you're saying, and I respect it, but I'm gonna stay put at 5.
Okay. So that's a 42.
So that gives us a score of 42, which is going to tie it with
Mankind
the halftime heat match. But that match has better significance, so we're putting this one below it.
Yeah,
which lands it as the 34th out of 48.
Yeah, and there's actually a good comp right near it in Bret Hart Sid. From February 97, and we gave that a 40. So I think that's actually a pretty good comp. And even Flair Savage from Primetime, like their TV changes, they kind of are done just to get us to the next thing. It's a fun moment with a story, but it's not like a great match. Like I think the Sid Bret especially is like a good comp to this one.
Well, they're both transitional champions, right?
Yeah. So I kind of like that setting. All right, so that's there. Want to quickly go over our top 10?
Absolutely.
All right, if you're watching on video, you can see producer Tim's about to throw it on the screen. Audio, we'll read it off for you really quick here. Our 10th place match, Rock defeats Mankind, 71 points. That's from Deadly Games, Survivor Series 98.
All right, 9th is Randy Savage defeating Ric Flair from WrestleMania 8 with 72 points.
Number 8, Mankind defeats The Rock from January 4th, 99 Raw with 72 points.
It's The Rock at WrestleMania 15, 73 points.
Andre the Giant over Hulk Hogan in the main event, 75 points.
Number 5, Hulk Hogan defeating the Iron Sheik, January 23rd, 84, MSG with 76.
Number 4, Ric Flair winning the 1992 Royal Rumble with 78 points.
A match we thought would last a lot longer than it did. But number 3 is Bret Hart defeating The Undertaker with 90 points from SummerSlam 1997.
Number 2, Stone Cold Steve Austin defeats Shawn Michaels at WrestleMania 14 with 93 points.
Hanging tight at number 1, the Montreal Screwjob, Shawn Michaels making Bret Hart submit to his own hold, Survivor Series 97, 94 points.
Okay, so that'll do it. Hopefully everyone enjoyed this installment. We'll be back in 2 weeks. We'll talk SummerSlam 99, Austin, Triple H, Mankind with Jesse Ventura as a special guest referee. We'll be back next week, though, with more frivolities here on No Holds Barred. And we're going to keep this one a surprise, actually. We have a little treat for you coming in next week. So stay tuned for that. Check out everything we have to offer at the North South Connection. Subscribe, like, ring the bell right here on this YouTube channel. Follow us on any podcast application. The Dookie's been dropped. We'll talk to you next week.
See you, jockass.